Hi, I'm Phoebe Grover with Grover Mortgage Group.
And I'm Natalie Van Cardo with the Nat Nate Real Estate Team.
Welcome to our new podcast,
Real Estate of Mind,
where we discuss real estate, life, and everything in between.
We're excited for you to follow us and join in on our journey.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the pod.
Welcome back.
I just want to start off by saying that I am extremely tired today. So if I'm a little bit slow, that's why.
I don't feel like you're slow. You're saying it, but you're not. You're still on it.
So we're recording this at 11 a.m. and I woke up at 9:48 a.m.
There you go.
Sending
and
a
you
panic
here
text,
too.
and I drove here and I got ready and did my hair. I put some makeup on.
No, you did a great job.
Oh my gosh. I was just telling you, the less I go to Pilates, the more pain I have in my body.
Yeah, your body craves you working out.
Working out, yeah. So I got to get back. I've been so busy, but yeah, oh my God. It's actually crazy.
And the weather doesn't help. Like
Oh
today's
yeah,
like
and
a
it's
groggy,
raining.
like just stay in day.
So true.
Yeah.
Okay, today we want to talk about something fun. I don't know if it's fun, but I think it's relevant. And one of us has lived through it, so that'll be exciting.
I don't think it's fun.
You're like, I have trauma actually from this experience.
Yeah.
But we want to talk about the ultimate relationship test, renovating together with your partner.
Yeah, I think it is a true test for sure. Because you have to think like a majority of people's relationships, the turmoil comes from like finances and like significant renovations to a space and like moving. Like I think those are the main stressors.
I also think if you're renovating with someone, like you guys got to have the same vision.
Luckily, my partner and I are aligned with that.
That's
so
good.
If we did not have that, I could not imagine having like completely polarized styles.
Yeah, imagine he wanted traditional and you wanted modern and it was just constantly clashing.
Yeah,
How would that
luckily
even work?
we have the exact same style, so I've never had to experience that. But like I hear like showing houses to people, I'm like, oh yeah, he wants it this way, I want it that way. I'm like, how do you guys have
How do you
such
make it
different-
work?
Yeah. Interesting. But
yeah.
yes.
Okay. So, okay. How finances during a renovation can make or break your dynamic.
Okay, so I find in most relationships, you have like one person that's like dominant with the finances, like knows everything. And then you have the other person that's just like kind of being tagged along. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
100%.
Okay. So with our relationship, we can swap. Nathan and I swap that role. It's not just like one person mainly. I'm more of like a saver. He's more
I feel like you both are pretty financially savvy.
yeah, but I feel like we're not at the same level at the same time. Like sometimes I'll be on and he'll be off or vice versa. But when it comes to doing a renovation, like you need to sit down and have that conversation of like, this is our budget. This and like kind of break everything down. If it's a significant renovation, I would go room by room and then have like a budget for each area. Obviously pricing things out definitely helps to figure out if this is realistic or not. But it's very difficult if one person has expensive taste and the other one doesn't see that.
That's my biggest fear.
Because
I have
am
expensive
able
taste.
to pick out the most expensive thing all the time.
Yeah.
It is a disease.
Yeah,
Swear to God.
100%.
Literally, well, like if we're picking tile, I'll go like, I want that one. He's like, of course, it's the most expensive tile.
I have the
You've
same
picked
problem.
it. But I'm like, I can't help that. That's what
Sorry,
I'm
I
gravitating
like
to.
nice things.
Exactly. So you have to understand and reel that in because I find I can be like very, very big. Like for our powder room, I really wanted the quartz sink. Where it's like on a slant and it's all one with the piece. And he's like, this is like a $10,000 sink. We're not going to be doing it in this house. And I was
For
like,
a sink, that's
yeah,
crazy.
it's expensive. But I was like, oh, but like, aren't we doing that for this house? Like, you know, please. But no, it didn't make sense. So obviously we had
Especially
to
for a powder room, yeah.
but like, that's where you do it.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Like as opposed to your primary?
I wouldn't do it in my primary. No. Because
Why in your powder?
Because honestly, you're only really washing your hands there. If that was in my like ensuite,
Yeah.
I'd have like toothpaste and like
Fair
other stuff that I have to keep.
enough.
Like it was just something easy that I don't want to have to wash constantly. Yeah. So like certain things I would value as like a need, and then I would,
He would bring you back down to earth.
Yeah. But then also vice versa. Like for him, if he wants a certain type of trim, and I'm like, well, we can get the exact same look, but this. So like, you have to kind of give and take. But one person definitely tends to reel in the other person.
I think this topic is interesting also because I think couples break up because of this.
It can be very stressful.
There's that one show that I used to watch on HGTV. I forget what it's called now, but the husband and wife used to do renos together and they got divorced. I think it was really taking a toll on their relationship.
Yeah. It honestly, it does. Like if you guys aren't aligned, or I find with a renovation, you like start off really excited, then you hit the peak, and then you start going down. Like things are taking a lot longer. You may have had some hiccups. Time frame is a really big thing, or like things are costing too much. Then you're like at this low level for quite a while. Until you hit like the next peak of like you're seeing things being done, and then you're up again, and then you may go back down. So like you really have to understand the roller coaster of this, and talk each other through it, because sometimes I'd be panicking, and then other times like he's panicking. So like you definitely need to come together.
I think you need to have a strong foundation.
Yeah.
This is a big project. Yeah. Well, even if it's not a big project, I mean, if you're renovating one thing in your house, if you were renovating just your powder room, I think that's different than if you're going through like a complete haul of your entire house.
Yeah.
That's where I think it can get really, really stressful.
And it also
that's I think where budget is really, really important.
Oh, you have to have your budget
like to a
locked
T.
in.
Yeah.
You really do.
Get an Excel spreadsheet, like you said, go room by room, be really particular on exactly what finishes you want, what appliances you want, what tile, like everything, down to the paint color, down to the company that you're choosing.
Yeah. The other thing I also, like, I was very adamant about, like, if we're overspending on something here, like we've had a certain amount of allocated to it, but hey, we want to do something a little bit more expensive. That amount needs to come off of somewhere else. Like you need to kind of replenish those funds.
That's really good.
Yeah.
I don't think most people would do that.
No,
I think they would just continue going over
but
budget.
Where's that extra money coming from? Okay, so we're not going to do this here. Like you really need to kind of make sure that you're constantly at your
baseline.
balance. Yeah.
And I think it's also important to identify your needs versus your wants.
That's a hard one.
Yeah,
because such a hard one.
I mean, all our wants are needs, right? I could convince myself that every single one of my wants are a need. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I need this.
I'm there with you. It's like, yeah, most things are a need. But yeah, no, that's a good point, because there's lots of things that you don't necessarily need at this time. The other thing is, if it's not a need, say you want to do like a bar area in the future, you may want to like run the lines so that everything's there in that location, so that when you are ready to do it, you don't have to break walls. So definitely think of the larger picture when you're doing these things. And then maybe it's the easiest time to put piping, electrical, whatever that is, in those locations, tucked behind the walls, obviously. And then, when you guys are ready to do that, they're there. Yeah.
Smart. Tips to avoid budget resentment.
I think each person would have to get something that they want.
Smart. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So like if one person's getting everything that they want, like design wise, and the other person has a different take, you have to kind of balance it out. So like I may want something really badly in our ensuite, and he may want something really badly in the kitchen. So like, give each other something that they want.
Also, can I just say, I was reading this and it said real life money mistakes couples make during renos. And we know a couple, their family friend who got their kitchen done recently, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and they spent $70,000 to $80,000 on it. Mm-hmm. Not including appliances, but then they also got top of the line appliances. So it was like a significant kitchen reno. And we went to go see it recently. Because I'm always talking about how I want to redo my kitchen and this, that, and the other. And we went over there and they're like, Deepika, can we tell you, don't do it. They're like, we regret it so much.
That's a ridiculous amount for your kitchen.
Well, that's exactly. So
So they went with a really bad company.
I think they overspent. When I
Oh,
saw
yeah.
their kitchen, it's nice, but I was like, how did you guys spend this much money on your kitchen?
No.
It's crazy. And they're like, we could have done so much with this money. We could have gotten our entire basement renovated. We could have gone on a trip. We could have put
Yeah.
it away. We could have paid our house down. Like so many things. And they're like, they have like regret. They have
Well, that's
renovation regret.
like an obscene amount of money. And having somebody in the kitchen industry, I'm just like, that's too much.
It
That's
was a
way too much.
lot of money.
Like even everything's like really top of the line. They got hosed somewhere.
And it's really, really nice, but I don't think it's worth that type of money nice. Like it's like
No.
slightly
I can't.
nicer than mine. And ours was mostly like upgrades from like the builder. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like we got it done or anything, and they fully got theirs done. And I was just like, that's crazy.
I
So
feel
yeah,
bad.
make sure budget is very important so that you don't regret it afterwards.
The other regret I think most people have that we experience is they don't fully think through the project. So they start somewhere else and then they're going to another location, but they're ruining that first location that they just finished. So example would be you start with your front foyer first, and then you are doing something inside the house. Now that front foyer is getting all the traction and all like getting knocked up, and then you have to go back and repatch everything.
That's
So like
smart.
placement of everything is really important. And knowing that it can be a slippery slope of like, if you start doing something here, you're going to continue it through the house. So really think everything that you're going to be possibly doing and map it out correctly.
That's really smart.
I've done this before, Deepa.
No, I know. And you came out alive on the other side, which is what's so impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So design, we already talked about this. What happens when your partner's style is not your style? So compromise. I think that
Yeah, you
goes
have
with
to
anything in a
compromise.
relationship, right? You have to compromise.
Yeah.
You have to both feel like you're winning. I think
because
that's
at
fair.
the end of the day, this is both your space. Like this is somewhere you're coming home to like relax, unwind. You want both of you guys to feel a part of it.
But some men don't have good taste.
I agree.
So how do you veto that?
Well, that's where like you come into like the man cave and that sort of thing. Like if they have
Like,
really
keep your
poor
space
taste,
separate.
like okay, maybe you get the garage. You can do whatever you want in that garage, and maybe it's not in the house. But like same with our bedroom. I wanted it to be like a reflection of both of us. I don't want it to just be like really girly.
Yeah,
So
that's
like you
true.
have to really be cognizant of like this is for both of you. Yeah.
That's true. I always wondered that because I do see some homes online on social media and they are very girly. And I always think, how did your partner, husband, boyfriend agree to this? Living in this space, like it's
Some
very
guys don't
girly.
even care. Like they just don't care. But like I want him to feel good in this space.
I wouldn't even want an overly girly space. I think my perfect aesthetic is like clean, minimalistic, like sleek, you know?
I'm like white bed sheets, white everything.
Yeah, yeah. I've recently been turned on to white bed sheets and I love it. I love the way it makes my room look.
Okay, so my son has a white duvet and everything white, and my daughter had like a really light pink, and then I got white, and then she was like, "I really want white." I'm like, "Really? Like for kids? Like they love having the white, and then they have like cool color sheets, but like that's their thing. They really like the white."
I wish I got turned on to white earlier because it makes a huge difference to my room aesthetic as well.
It brightens it up and makes it look larger.
And it also, it just looks more mature and like more live. I don't know. My room always used to look so chaotic when I had like floral duvet covers and like random colorful
I
bed
can't do
sheets, and
floral.
it's like mismatched, and it was just started giving me anxiety. And then I was like, okay, I like the neutrals. I like the beiges and the whites and the
You can go crazy with the color, like the pillows.
Yeah.
That's my thing because you can always take it away. But the focal point of being like a duvet cover or like even a rug, like I don't want it to be too crazy.
Too crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
So true. Okay. Decision fatigue and delegation.
That is legit.
This is huge. Decision fatigue. Yeah, like picking paint colors, tiles,
It's a
grout,
lot.
fixtures, everything. Like you gotta pick a lot when you're doing a renovation.
Okay, so I get choice fatigue.
Yeah.
I get that all the time. Nathan's much better at that than I am, but like I get to a point I'm like, this is like I can't look at another faucet. I can't look at another thing. Paint color I love doing because like that's my thing. I love adding the color in. But like the sink, The sinks are not exciting.
And they all look the same.
That's what I said. I'm like, you pick the sink. It's literally, I want square. Just you pick it. But he's like, but this is this size. And I'm like, that's not me. Like, that's your domain. You figure that out. But yeah, it's a real thing. Especially if you're doing such a large scale renovation. So I say always look for inspiration, like go to Pinterest, find ideas that you like. So that way you're kind of narrowing down the choices. Cause it's much easier for me to be like, oh, I like that picture. Like, how do we recreate it? Opposed to like having to start from scratch and not having anything in my head.
That's the problem. There's too much choice these days.
I get caught up on like the handle. To like the next level
100%.
Where I'm like, I can't pick a handle yet. Our poor vanity has not had a handle for a long time. I'm like, I don't like anything that you're showing me. And then finally he found like the perfect one, but like it takes a while.
It does take a while. I know we're doing, we're trying to do wall trim or whatever it's called on our walls. And there's so many different like designs we could go with to do it. And it's so much decision fatigue. And
are you talking about like an accent wall with
like the millwork on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like so many different types of trims you could go with.
Yeah.
And I think I get decision fatigue really quickly in real life situations because my work situations we're constantly making decisions like back to back. So then I'm like, I don't also want to make decisions in real life too. So I have found myself recently starting to get decision fatigue so quickly. Yeah. And then I just get overstimulated and I'm like, I can't do this. So the Pinterest thing is such a good suggestion because you just look at something, you're like, I like this. Let's go try to replicate this and just
or that's where you bring in a designer that can like narrow down the options for you. So you're not constantly looking at everything because they'll get your aesthetic and then they'll say like, okay, these are the top things for you to pick from. And then you only have a certain selection, which is honestly that alone saves a lot of time and like mental space. So that may be beneficial, but if you're trying to be more cost friendly, then definitely Pinterest and get ideas because you'll go crazy.
And you're also lucky that it's just you and your husband for the most part making the decisions.
Yeah.
In our house, it's 4 of us. And then also my brother and sister-in-law who don't even live in our house, but we still always ask for their opinion.
That's true.
So it's 6 of us and we are all heavily opinionated. The Grovers are very opinionated. So getting something done in my house takes months, if not years. So I've gotten to the point where if I like something, I'm just going to go get it and do it and then figure out the consequences later because I'm like, I cannot keep going back and forth for a year on the smallest things.
Yeah, it's true.
Like cushion covers, for example. I'm like, why are we fighting over cushion covers?
Yeah, certain things, just buy it and then they won't even say anything.
Exactly. Yeah. Or like artwork or like painting or like paintings and stuff. It's just, it's a lot. Decision fatigue is so real.
I find with paintings, I just buy what I like and then I'll put it on the space. And if I don't like it, I just return it. Yeah. I don't overthink like, well, let's go. Like just, if I like it, I grab it and then figure it out.
Yeah. I'm started doing that with a lot of things because I'm like, okay, worst case scenario, I can just return it. Like exactly.
Yeah.
It's better to have something and get it over with than not have anything because it's hard to match your opinions with other people's opinions. It's just so exhausting. It's the overthinking. Yeah,
we're going to do a segment on overthinking and how it affects everything. But yeah, no, honestly, it plays a factor in everything.
There's too much choice, you guys, in everything nowadays. There's way too much choice.
Yeah.
It's like we need like a reset or like a detox of making decisions.
I don't know if it's.
Do you ever feel overwhelmed sometimes? Like I genuinely feel so overwhelmed sometimes.
About making decisions. I'm very good at making decisions, and sometimes I'm a little too rigid. Like once I make it, like that's it.
I'm like that too, but in my work,
I can be with both.
Really?
Yeah. Where I have a friend who does not want to make a decision at all, and it makes me
I think I'm getting to that
intense.
point.
She's like, can you just decide? I can't. I'm like, okay, fine. But there are times where I'm like, I don't want to have to. Like, if we're like doing activities with the family, I'm like, can someone else just take that on?
Yeah, exactly.
Or if we're like getting together with friends, I love when they decide what we're doing.
Okay, so I'm the planner. I plan all my trips. I plan all the dinners. I plan everything. For the most part, like obviously I have friends who do it too, but for the most part, I do it. I'm really good at it, and I'm also very picky with how I spend my time, so I prefer to do it. But now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, can somebody else take it over?
So I was you. And then like with certain people now, they like to do, I'm like, sure, go ahead. Y'all decide what we're doing. I'm just going to show up.
But how do you let go? Because my type A personality does not allow me to let go.
I think over time, I'm just, like you said, like I can't do it all.
Fair enough.
So,
You've
and
realized.
if you're with people that like are kind of aligned, so you'll know they'll do a good job. Like I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what if I don't like the dinner? Who cares?
Who
I'm still
cares?
with
Yeah.
people I care about.
So true.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's true. I'm always thinking in terms of opportunity cost, which is my downfall. I was like, well, no, but I could have been doing this instead. It's like, whatever. Oh my God, it literally says the role of trust and letting go of control. So hard.
okay, no, it is.
It's so hard.
So luckily, I have someone that is very knowledgeable in construction.
So true.
So
Yeah.
I let go with that. But there are times where I'm like, that doesn't sound right, or like I don't like that option.
Mm-hmm.
I am very detail oriented, like super picky of
Me too.
like finishing.
Mhm.
So yeah, like I can spot little deficiencies everywhere. It's really bad.
Interesting. You're
Yeah.
like my dad.
It is horrible. So Nathan took me on site to one of his things that he's doing.
Projects, yeah.
And he took me through, and I just looked up at, they did this huge ceiling in one of the restaurants. And I'm like, are you guys going to fix all these things? And then he said, can you just like look at the bigger picture here? And then he told his employee, he's like, Natalie found all the deficiencies. I'm like, I can't help it. Like,
But
my
did they
eyes-
not know it was
they
there?
knew it was there. Like,
Oh,
it's,
okay.
So when they install it, it's obviously they have to go back to do touch-ups and stuff. But like, that's like the first thing that I look at. So like, don't tell me it's done if it's not done yet. Because
Oh my
I will see
God.
everything. And like, it's really bad in terms of like when you're doing plastering and like that type of finishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't want to see any speck on the wall. Like I don't want to see anything.
Wow.
Yeah. So like we have to do a skim coat.
I am not
over the
that
whole
detail
walls.
oriented. You are next level.
With that, because I'm going to look at it every day,
Mm-hmm.
and my eye will go there every day.
Oh
which
my
is bad.
God. Okay, signs you're both mentally maxed out and what to do.
Okay, so that you're talking about being in the pit. You're in the
Yeah.
You're in the
You're in the trenches
Yeah,
over here.
so I
I don't
think-
even want to think about that. That's giving me trauma.
Okay, one is just acknowledging that you guys are there, like just saying we hit the lull, because in renovations there's the lull.
I think you gotta take a break.
Taking a break costs money and time.
Yeah,
So you might not want to do that. But it's just like identifying, okay, we're here. This is shitty. One of you are going to have to pull the other one along. And usually I am being the one pulled along. Okay. Because Nathan can see through everything. And I'm more like, this is disrupting my space. I can't like function. I've been having to like go around something too many times. So if I'm disrupted for too long, I'm affected. And I don't like that, because I'm very much like, I need everything efficient.
Yes.
I don't like having to go
Yes.
to a different place so many times.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. But I'll have to be dragged out of it. We'll have to be like, okay, you're in the lull.
Is he good at dragging you out of it?
He is.
He
He's like,
is?
we just got to get this done. Like, just whatever.
well,
there
that's
may be
good.
arguments along the way. Like, we're normal people. We're
No,
gonna
of
have,
course.
We're going to have bickering, and I get overwhelmed with when like there's too much mess, or if I'm seeing the same thing over and over again, not done. So it's just like having that conversation, acknowledging like, this is my personality. I can't handle that right now. And like just giving the person grace of like, I'm allowed to freak out.
That's good that you guys are like compliment each other though. Like you guys are very complimentary. I think if one of you is down, the other one can pick the other one up.
Yeah, ideally.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think some couples will just both be in the trenches and then be like, where do we go from here? Like, what do you?
But that's why
That's where I'm picturing myself.
Honestly, it does happen, and then you guys are just bickering, and it's not going to be helpful. So like acknowledging we're in the low. Like I think you need to understand.
I think you have to be self-aware. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to understand
So
this is the pivot of like the what is it called, the graph of the renovation, and now you're
Yeah.
in the absolute lowest part of it. So like it's going to climb back up into like happiness, but like when you're especially not seeing progress, or things are just taking a lot longer, it'll affect it.
It's important, guys, who pick your partners wisely.
Yeah,
Not only for life, but also for renovations.
I couldn't imagine if we're both like at each other.
Mm-hmm.
It happens.
As
But yeah.
well, of course it happens, but at that time when you're already at your lowest, it's like,
Yeah.
that's so stressful. Okay. Oh, dealing with tradespeople and keeping each other in the loop. That's hard. I mean,
Okay.
I think it's different for you guys because like Nathan's like in the industry, but
As a female, I don't want to be like, oh, this happens to females all the time. I just find they automatically think we're less knowledgeable and they give you bullshit answers. So, and I don't vibe off of the bullshit answers.
also I think their schedule is never correct. If they say we're going to finish by this date, it's usually like another like month out from when they're actually going to finish.
It depends.
Is what I've heard. Horror stories.
It really depends on a lot of things. But the main thing is you want to be constantly making them accountable. Being physically there is really important, opposed to like not being there and not seeing the progress.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we were doing our extension on our last place, it was impossible for us to be there all the time. So like certain days I'd be there like watching and working from the house. And other days I wasn't able to. And I literally had my neighbors, they were the best people. They would message me and say like, they didn't really do much today. They didn't do this today. Like they were also looking at the progress.
Oh my gosh.
And like, they left a little early or whatever it was. I'm like, they were looking out for us, but
Wait, I love
obviously
that.
we could see like the progress and what was getting done or not. So definitely be on top of them. If you don't know answers, definitely look it up. Nowadays we have like so much readily available information. And if something doesn't sound right with what they're saying, investigate it and then go back to them. Again, luckily Nathan is very knowledgeable and he can be like, no, that's not, or like there's a better way of doing this or whatever it is. So definitely like research what you're renovating and try to find the correct answers out there.
I've heard a lot of people getting ripped off by contractors just because they don't know what, like they're not construction people, right? Like the people hiring. So they are getting fed wrong information or wrong timelines or just the work is not being done properly. So yeah, I think it's really important that you're overlooking.
Well, like even with clients that we've had or even family members, like they'll be saying something like, that doesn't sound right. I'm like, why don't you ask them if they can do it this way? Or like, why don't you ask this? And they go back like, oh, actually like, they're going to do it this way or whatever. So it's like just having, I guess, basic knowledge of it, but also asking people around you that have done renovations before, like what to look out for is huge. But yeah, knowledge is key.
My dad is really good at that because my dad has a lot of construction knowledge. So anytime one of his friends are going through a renovation and they aren't very construction savvy, he goes and overlooks the project for them. Yeah. He's like, I'm happy to do it because at least then we'll know what's being done right. And there's so many times that he's been like, oh, this shouldn't be done this way. And then the contractors actually get like kind of annoyed. Being like, why does this guy know what he's talking about, right? Yeah, because I think I mean, not to talk like knock contractors, but I think most of the time they just kind of want to get it done and like move on to the next thing because they're usually very busy people, right? But it's like you gotta make sure they're doing it properly. Yeah. Because it's a lot of money at the end of the day. And then if they don't do it properly, you're going to have to call them back. And that's more time and more money that you're going to have to spend, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
But it's good that like Nathan probably has his own contractors, right? That he works with and that he knows and trusts.
He's super picky. He'd rather do a lot of things on his own.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But like certain trades, yes, that he can't do, he chooses them.
Do you have any horror stories from your experience?
Our horror story was just like the time that we did it was the most rainiest summer that we've had in a long time. So our whole home was exposed because our roof was off and our whole house was exposed to the elements.
Your roof was off?
Yeah, because we were doing an extension.
Oh my God.
And it was just like torrential downpours, probably for a good month. And you can't tarp it. You can't do a lot of things to it. So, and they can't work.
Where were you living? In the house?
No. We weren't living in the house.
Okay, I was going to say.
No, not with our roof. So anytime I see those pictures, I like have horrible flashbacks. And then also, it wasn't a very good choice, but we decided to keep a lot of our stuff in the basement in like tubs. We put a lot in storage, but like certain things, we thought we could just keep them in tubs. They'd be safe. But they were not safe. The mold was all in there.
I was going to say that can't possibly be good.
It had tons of mold. Some things got stolen from some of the the people working there. But yeah.
No way.
Yeah, we had the painters that we had at the time. He stole. I had the those weights. What are they called?
Barbells?
Not barbells. There are certain weights where you click them in, and they have like up to like 50 pounds each.
Oh, my brother has those. Yes, I know what you're talking about.
What are they called? It starts with a B. Bowflex.
Oh, Bowflex.
Bowflex. Yeah, the Bowflex ones. They were like really expensive. They were in there. I think they were like holding something in place, and yeah, they took them.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well,
So yeah, don't leave anything in the
yeah,
house.
that's crazy. The
If you're
roof
doing
being
it.
off is just giving me anxiety.
Yeah. Anytime I see the pictures, I'm like, oh my God.
Because because obviously you're working on the top portion, but then your bottom portion is also getting wrecked.
Well, we were gutting the entire house. So we were okay with it being like that. But everything else was pretty much down to the stud. And then the roof was off.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. Is DIY romantic or reckless?
Oh my God.
What is this?
Okay. It could be both. Because like I
Could
would
it be
love-
romantic?
It could be so romantic.
How could it be romantic?
I think it could. If for some reason my husband wanted to like finish our office for us and like make sure I was away for a weekend and got it done and it was like what I wanted.
I love watching. Yeah.
I would love that. Like that would be like, oh my God, that is amazing. Because that is like I'm acts of kindness and that is
I
like,
love watching
right
those
up my
videos
alley.
on social media. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
If he does it and it goes awry or
And you
just
don't
doesn't
love it.
listening to anything that I wanted, then yes, that would not be great. And then like if you do projects together, that's really fun.
It is. You're creating something together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but like if you guys don't align on things or you don't work well together, then avoid. Avoid it.
Yeah. Yeah. My God, that's so funny. Okay, living in a construction zone. You lived in a construction zone for a bit, right? I remember you telling stories of how you would be working outside in your car on the laptop while they were
that
inside.
was the last house. We weren't living there, but I had to like obviously keep eye on everything. So I would have to work out of that house. And then even when it was finished, there's still things happening. So we moved in and then there's still people doing work like electrical and all this other stuff. So it was like a constant revolving door for a while. There's like no break. Even with this house, when we're doing like certain projects within it, it's just tiring because like you just want your space back. And we had like an area tarped off, and it was like our main powder room area, and then our front. So like it was constant like having to clean up the dust everywhere. Like I hate the cleanup, and you have to like clean it every day. So it's just like it's a big inconvenience for the time that it's being done. But like once it's done, you know, it's worth it, but it's just getting through it.
I think it's also very hard my biggest fear is a kitchen renovation because then where do you eat?
Ideally, you do it in the summer and you're barbecuing. Yeah, like that's the only time I would do my kitchen. It would be in the summer.
That would not work for us because we don't barbecue very much.
Yeah, or you can get like the hot plates, like
Yeah,
like
the
one
hot
of those,
plates,
the induction
yeah.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ideally, you're not without a kitchen for like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
My God.
Yeah, but like your fridge will be in a different area of the house.
Yeah.
You could have your stove.
I don't think I could
somewhere.
live through a renovation. The more I'm
No?
thinking about it, because I'm so like I like my things how they are.
Really?
I don't
like I
want to
can't
live in
wait to rip
chaos.
out my kitchen.
Really?
I can't wait.
Well, then I would go live with my brother. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be living in my house while the kitchen was not there.
Yeah.
I would need to live somewhere with a kitchen, I think.
It's like a little bit of an inconvenience.
That's what I mean. I'm so bad with like minor inconvenience.
Really? I can do it for a bit. It's like you're camping, essentially.
Oh my
Just
God.
go out and eat.
But then 3 meals a day, you're going to be going out and eating. Like that's so, I can't do that for my health. I cannot do that for my health. Oh my God.
So you're going to be living with your brother.
I would just be, we're going over there now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But people listening to this are going to be like, she's such a diva.
I don't
Like,
no,
I
but it
just
honestly is
can't.
realistic. It's really
It's
it is
hard.
a big inconvenience.
It's a big inconvenience. And I honestly like kudos to you for living through that.
Like I want to do it like now. Get it done. Get it over with. especially now the weather's getting
You want to
nicer.
redo your kitchen?
Oh yeah.
Really?
It's builder basic.
I mean, I agree. I want to redo my kitchen too, but I think like just the cabinets and get like a new island. I don't want to do a major like overhaul.
Oh, I want the floors gone.
Really?
Oh God.
I love my floors.
I hate them.
You didn't get your floors upgraded?
We got our floors up. So we got all the tile in the house upgraded. But they didn't have the large
Oh, the large
tiles that
pieces.
were matte. It was glossy. So we had to do those in the kitchen because like, can't go any smaller. And it shows everything. My poor cleaner, like
Mine shows everything too.
it's so annoying. I don't like it.
And you have white tiles.
They're like whitey, like not super white. They're like grayish white.
Yeah. I have the same
Yeah.
problem. Everything does show on them. You're so right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I really want to redo my cabinets because mine are like basic cabinets. They don't even have like any design. They're just like a slab of like plywood or
flat?
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, flat. So I really want to do that. And I want to get new countertops as well.
I'm not
Which
allowed
I
to
think
get
that's
countertops
easy.
until we rip out the kitchen.
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
He's like, I'm not slapping on any type of countertop on this until everything's gone.
But what else do you want to do? Do you want to make it bigger or?
No, I want to rip everything out.
Mm-hmm.
The island we'd make bigger.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much it. Like he did some configuration. Like he took out a cabinet because we have the large fridge freezer. So he's done tweaks to it. But
I would
needs to
want
go.
to expand my island too and I want to do like a waterfall island and like make it bigger and just better
like I'm
countertops.
so over the waterfall.
I like the waterfall. Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into it.
I think it looks better than just having a slab on top. It looks more cohesive and like put
Do
together.
you know what my main thing is?
What?
It's all the seams.
Yeah, fair enough.
And especially how it hits the floor. If it does not hit the floor flush, I like can't. I just don't like.
So you just like just countertop on
I
top?
just like countertop. I don't like the waterfall.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you like it where the countertop is slightly off of the how do I explain this? Like, do you need your cabinetry to be flush with the
No. You need a lip.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
A lip. Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah.
I need a little lip.
I'm like, how do I explain what I'm trying to say here?
Yeah.
How your physical environment affects your emotional one.
Oh.
Huge.
Okay. I don't think a lot of people realize how big it is. Like this goes back to like our conversations about organization and stuff.
Yes.
But a lot of people do not realize that the space that they're living in definitely evokes feelings and emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So like imagine like a hoarder. They're like I find they're very chaotic or like there's like obviously
Manic.
a lot of mental distress and they don't realize it's because of what they're living in.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not coming into a space that's like calm and relaxing or like there's stuff everywhere, no matter who you are, it's going to affect you. So I think it's a large impact. But when it comes to renovation, I think of it as a short-term disruptance for a long-term gain.
Yeah.
So like you have to just keep telling yourself, and I have to keep telling myself a lot. It'll get done.
It'll get done.
It'll look good. Like just keep thinking that because once you start like freaking out, I can freak out really easily and go down like the rabbit hole of like, oh my God, this is taking forever. Why did we do this? I just choose not to go there.
Have you ever had situations where the project's been delayed?
Our large house was delayed. Like the last house we did, like the extension, that was delayed probably 2 months. And I was pregnant.
Oh my God.
Had a baby in that time. And yeah.
Like you had a baby and you were pregnant, or you just
No,
pregnant
I was
with your
pregnant
first?
and then had her and we weren't moved in yet.
Oh my God.
And like you go through severe nesting. I didn't realize like how much of a nesting phase you go through having a kid. And like I didn't have that space to like create for her. So I was like, I was not okay. Like that was the worst renovation ever. And I think it largely had to do with being pregnant and like in that. So that was the worst. And then when we finally got situated, like just other things started happening. I'm like, no, I had to like control my environment. So yeah, it can be a lot. You're like,
I feel like
oh,
it is.
no.
I feel like it is a lot.
Well, just a
You're like, it
renovation
can be
is
a
a
lot. I
lot,
was
but
like,
then
no,
like
it's a
add a
lot.
kid and add like
Yeah.
having a newborn. Yeah. Because she was born in January and we didn't, thank you. She was born in January and we didn't move in until end of April.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Where were you living at this
I
time?
was at my dad's.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at least you had like a home.
Yeah, but still, it wasn't like ours.
No,
and
of
it
course.
was hard.
And
Yeah.
having a baby somewhere else and being like displaced is a nightmare
I
in
had postpartum
itself.
depression with her for sure.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Because I was like, I just need my space. Like, yeah.
And you want to do it all over again. You're like, well, at least I won't be having
I'm
a
over
kid
it.
this
You
time.
kind of like, when you do have a kid, you have like, you forget. I'm like, let's go do this again.
Ooh, creating space for intimacy and rest.
I think that's
You're like, there
important.
is none. You're like, for those 2 or 3 months, say goodbye.
Okay, are we creating it through the renovation?
Yeah,
or-
through the renovation. Like, what do
Okay.
you do for intimacy and rest while your entire house is being
That's not my
renovated?
priority.
Yeah, you're like, I don't care about that.
I'm gonna say I don't really know.
Think about it?
I guess you need to have it.
I think some people need it more than others. Maybe some, right? Maybe you just don't. You can kind of gung ho.
I never thought of that.
Why building a home together is more than just logistics, and how renovating can deepen your bond. I mean, it's like a make or break situation for sure.
It's like you make it or it's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's either you're going to move into this house together or you guys are going to be living apart, moving out.
There's a lot to it. Okay, there's the one that you're creating something together, which is like it's fun, and when it's done, it like feels that much better than just buying a house from a builder.
Totally.
Because like
It's yours.
it's your
what
sweat,
you
blood, and
want.
tears have gone into this. So like there's that pride aspect. There's like we've built something together. What was the second part of that question? It was long.
How it can deepen your bond.
Oh, I think just like having something that you guys are like creating together that deepens the bond. Like I love doing projects with him.
Aww.
So like, yeah, just having that
so
time
cute.
of like, you know, you have one goal and you're working together.
Mm-hmm.
But again, a lot of people don't work well with their spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Like I work very well with him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but I can see the reverse. Like if you guys aren't aligned or there's like always these roadblocks and you can't overcome them, it can get tiresome. Yeah. Because even when you are aligned, you do have those issues. So yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, but just keep reminding yourself if you guys are having these issues, keep reminding yourself that you're going to have a beautiful space after this and it'll all be worth it. Right?
Yeah. And I find like the ones that like it's a make or break for them, there's other things that are at play. It's not just the renovation.
Mm-hmm.
Like I find it's a lot of communication styles.
Mm-hmm.
It's like respect for one another or like just how you approach things.
Taking their opinion into consideration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know, maybe not push so much on one thing that you want or like, you know, just give in or, you know, I don't know. It's a
Maybe
give and take.
people should go through renovations before they get married and then they'll know if they're compatible or not. It's like a
big-
compatibility
I feel
test.
like, is that a big investment or is the marriage a big investment? Like, I don't know. What would you say?
First buy a house together, renovate it, and then decide if you're compatible for marriage.
But like, can you imagine
Terrible advice. Don't listen to me.
doing a renovation and like you don't really know what you're doing. You're taking somebody's advice that you're with and like they don't know what they're doing. And it becomes like this shit show. Like it could go really bad.
Well, that's what I mean.
But this is
It's like a compatibility test.
But I also think like you need to have a level of self-awareness of like, don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what you're doing. We're going to figure this out together.
Mm-hmm.
Opposed to like maybe relying on somebody where you think that they know what they're doing. Because even if you're a tradesman, if you're like an electrician, you don't know everything about renovation.
100%.
So like, you know, I don't know. That goes for anything.
I also think the main takeaway from this, I will say, for me going into a relationship at some point in my life and maybe going through renovations, what I'm going to take away from this is you got to compromise.
100%.
You can't be clashing all the time because you're not going to always get what you want and he's not going to always get what he wants.
Sorry, I just noticed your nails match your shirt and I was like, that looks really nice.
Oh, thank you. It's a new set. I just went to Destiny
like it.
Nails.
Yeah, nice.
I love that place.
Yep.
But yeah, you guys have to compromise, which I think with any aspect of a relationship, you're going to have to compromise. This is just slightly a more stressful situation.
Yeah, and there's higher stakes, right? Because
Yeah.
like this is a large investment and you want to be on a timeline. So you just I don't know. Finish my thought for me.
No, I mean, it's seriously, you just have to compromise. You can't be clashing all the time. You have to think about the bigger picture. I know it's so easy when you're in the trenches of a renovation or any you're in the trenches of any stressful situation. It's
Mhm.
easy to just get caught up in that and be like, it's always going to be like this. Like you said, you constantly
That's
have to remind
huge.
yourself that
Yeah.
it's not always going to be like this. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. I think that's the main thing.
And like the worst part of your personalities will most likely come out.
100%.
So you have to be aware of like you're not going to be your best versions of yourselves
Yeah.
when this is going on. So
And
give
I think
each
it's
other
important.
grace.
I think it's okay to like vent to your friends about it during a renovation, right? Maybe just let off some steam and then go back and start from scratch.
Are you sorry, just to add to this, are you someone that is like okay if you both vent to other people and like come back, or are you like you cannot speak about whatever happens?
Are you kidding me?
There are
I am a certified yapper. I
like,
yap.
I find like it's cathartic and
100%.
also like everybody goes through it. So I'm just like very
and also
real.
for me, I'm such an overthinker that I need my friends to like tell me if I'm being crazy or if I'm like being correct.
Yes, yeah. Or just be like, I got it off my chest. Yeah, every man's crazy. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Just
No,
basic.
I think it's very respectful when you don't talk about your problems with your friends, but I also think you need to talk about certain ones.
I don't think you're like, oh my God, he's an asshole. Like talking down about them. It's more just like, can you believe what this fucker did? Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Sorry, shouldn't.
Well, there goes our YouTube
We'll bleep it
platform.
out.
I know.
But you know what I mean? Because like I find we're just so different in so many ways where you can also just bond with your friends of like similar situations.
No, and I think it's important too. And also, I think it helps your friends see you in a different light and helps you be vulnerable and it brings you closer to your friends. My friends vent to me about their men all the time, but it doesn't make me look at their men in a
100%.
negative way
It's
at
just,
all
to me,
ever.
it's like normal.
Yeah, it's super normal.
And when you don't vent to me about it, I'm like,
No, I think it's
my
weird.
flag's up with you.
Yeah, I think it's weird. And I'm like, so you're telling me you guys never have an argument? That's not possible.
yeah.
It's actually a red flag to me if my friends
I'm
are always
like,
like, oh, we never
no.
fight. And I'm like, no, that's not possible. What do you
But
mean?
even if you don't fight and it's more like you guys still get on each other's nerves.
100%.
Like, some days when he's chewing his food, I want to clock him. Like, you know what I mean?
So
Just like
true.
certain things of like
So
living
true.
with anybody. But that even goes with like my sisters growing up. Like this is what living with somebody is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think everybody needs it. It's normal.
It's normal. And I think venting to somebody, but also I think it depends who you vent to. Don't vent to somebody who you know was like a
100%.
shit disturber and then it's going to like rock your relationship.
Yes.
You have to vent
Yeah.
to people who are trustworthy and then they will send you back with like a positive mindset. And then you can go
Yeah.
back into the
You're-
situation clear.
You're doing it with a group of people that want the best for you and
Exactly.
they want your relationship to thrive.
Exactly.
It's not like, oh, leave him. Like
Exactly.
no one has time for that.
Nobody has time for that. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay.
What else?
Let's wrap up. So wrap up and relationship survival tips.
Communicate.
Yeah.
Definitely compromise. Like everybody has give and take. Review your budget several times.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you
Review your financing and how you're going to finance it.
yes, that's huge. And like your payment plan too. Like just figure out like how long is this going to take us to pay it back if you're doing a loan. And be sure like if you're overspending in one area to take to cut finances from another location.
How did you guys do it when you renovated? Did you refinance your house or did you just use cash?
We had equity that we had.
So a line of credit?
No, just cash.
Okay, so you refinanced it.
No, just cash. You're like, what?
I don't get it. Where'd you get the like for equity in your house? How'd you get it out? Like you refinanced
Well, we
it.
sold one house. We bought this one, and then we had a large chunk of
Oh,
money.
from a
and then we
sale of the
renovated.
other
Yeah.
house. Oh, okay, sorry.
You're like,
okay,
how
okay.
did you get your money?
Yeah, I was like, how'd you get your money out?
But then after we refinanced and like,
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah, it looks different for everyone. That's why I wanted to ask because everyone's situation is different. Some people will use a line of credit. Some people will refinance.
Yeah.
Some people might have cash.
we also tapped into a lot of government programs, like a lot for like energy efficiency
What?
and stuff. Yes. So like, because we replaced all the windows, all the doors and all that. So like before we did the renovation, they came and did like an energy audit. And then when we did the renovation, they came back and we got like so much money off. And
Okay,
yeah,
this
so
is
definitely
huge
go into,
that I don't think most people know about.
yeah. So look into like government grants and that sort of thing. Cause we did tap into a lot of those.
What? How did you get a lot of money? How much money?
I
did you
think
get?
we got like $25,000 to $30,000 back.
That's a
I think so,
lot.
yeah.
Oh
And then
my
you know what my
gosh.
favorite mortgage is?
What?
Purchase plus improvements.
Yes.
It is my freaking favorite
Yeah.
because especially if you're a first time home buyer and you want
But you can only get a certain amount though.
Yeah, but still, like it's huge.
helpful. Yeah,
It's
it's
very
helpful because you can
helpful.
add it
I
onto
love
the
it.
mortgage. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think like, and then knowing the journey, like knowing when you guys are at the top, knowing when you guys have hit the bottom, and just being real with each other of like, I'm plateaued right now.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not
also I
feeling
think it's okay to take a break. Maybe don't take a break for several weeks, but if you guys need 1 or 2 days where you're not talking renovation stuff, and I think that's okay.
It doesn't even need to be a break with the renos. It could be just like you need to go do a date night.
Exactly.
Or, like, do
reconnect and talk
something
about something
fun.
that's not renovation related.
Yes, 100%. Because
Yeah.
if you're like eating and breathing this, it becomes a lot.
It can get, but that's with anything. I think any extreme situation can get like that, right?
100%.
If you're only
Yeah.
like, balance is obviously important, everything in moderation. Okay, last question. What reno item almost ended your relationship, if any?
Oh, it was the last house. The last house almost ended it.
Really?
100%.
Well, it sounds dramatic.
I think if it was just the house, we would have survived a lot easier. But having like me being pregnant through it, and Nathan did a lot of the work on his own. So like the first 4 months of Eliana being with us, he was not there.
Oh,
So like he missed a lot of like bonding time. And yeah, so like I think that kind of would have been the precipice of our relationship.
If you can get through that, you can get through anything.
Honestly, like it was tough, but that's when I had to like as soon as we moved in, I like basically said, everybody get the F away from me. I need to like build our family and then we can go outwards again.
No, that's awesome.
But like I literally had to like cut everybody off. For a bit.
Yeah. No, that's really good.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay. Well,
learn from our mistakes.
Yes, no, for sure. Lots of really good tidbits in this episode. I know I've learned a lot for my future. Don't know if renovating is for me. I think I've said that in past. I'm pretty sure I've said that in past episodes. I don't know if I could live this life.
But like at least you know what you like, maybe not living through it. Like I don't think I could live through another large renovation of like doing an addition or something like that. Small things, yes, definitely.
I think I would do small things over time rather than do
Yeah.
everything all at once. I think that's really overwhelming for me.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But then
Yeah.
like at least knowing your personality and like how you would react to these things, that's huge. Because
Yeah.
going in with like rose-colored goggles and like thinking everything's going to be great, it's not.
Yeah. Or I'd have to like rent like an Airbnb or something to live in while it's happening if I'm
Yeah.
going to do like a whole gut. Yeah, it's hard. No, honestly, kudos to you. Like I have so much respect for you that you did that, especially while being pregnant. Cannot imagine. Oh my
Cannot
gosh.
imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, definitely try to avoid if you are pregnant or about to give birth.
But a lot of people move at that time, which is it's important to
But that's
do.
also stressful.
It's stressful, but like it's easier to do it while you're pregnant than before you have like when you have the baby.
Oh, no, for sure. Yeah.
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 That's another segment.
That's another thing. All right. That's all we have for you guys today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for following us on our journey. We have a lot more exciting episodes for you guys. I feel like I say this at the end of every episode. They're going to be like,
We're doing a lot of things.
but yes, please like and please subscribe. It helps us a lot. And we will see you on the next one.
Thank you.
Bye.